Well, 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 guys. Wow. Wow, that's Super Bowl. Wow. That was quite painful, wasn't it? Oof. Sheesh. Okay. I know I picked the Broncos, but I got a confession to make. I felt the Seahawks were going to win. I don't know why it felt that the intensity was definitely more on their end. But yes, the Temple of Boom, the 12 men, Richard Sherman, and Russell Wilson were all geared up and ready to go and taking against the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. And believe it or not, it seemed as though we were primed. It was ready. We were so hyped. And let me tell you something. This little extra beefy video, I'm going to try to make it a short video, but I make no promises in regards to this. I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about the halftime show. And I'm going to talk about the overall stuff about the commercials. A little few here. Overall, the best thing of the whole Super Bowl was the halftime show, and the game itself really was just one-sided. It was a dismantling, it was a destruction, it was ugly to watch. It was really, really just it was just unbelievable. Right off the bat, No Sean Moreno gets tackled after somebody until the center screws up giving the ball to Peyton Manning, and all of a sudden they score a safety. 12 seconds. That's right. In 12 seconds, Seattle scores a safety. And then after that, they get 2 field goals. Then all of a sudden, Beast Mode and Malcolm Smith score. But Malcolm Smith, which by the way, Malcolm Smith is the MVP. I didn't even know who it was when they named him. But yeah, he got a 69-yard interception touchdown return. Yeah. But Beast Mode was actually contained. Marshawn Lynch, he was actually contained. He didn't do too much today, but he did run in to get a touchdown, so Beast Mode's job was pretty much done by then. Then after that, the very first, it was already 22-0 by the half. Then all of a sudden, the first play, 12 seconds into the second half, who gets the ball? Percy Harvin returns it for a touchdown. He returned it for an 87-yard kickoff return, and with that became the first time that a team in the Super Bowl scores a safety, a touchdown, a kickoff return, and an interception to return to a touchdown. Then Jermaine Kearse gets a pass for a 23-yarder. At that point, it's 36-0. This game, when Percy Harvin scored that kickoff return, I was like, done. Done. By that point, the first half was over, and I figured, okay, you know what? Let's give him a chance. But no, after Percy Harvin did that, it was just like, you know what? Screw it. Forget it. There's nothing you could do. You are down big. You need to catch up. The Seattle defense isn't letting you do anything. The offense is doing pretty much everything they want, except allowing the runs, and even they started doing that later, and that was pretty much it. But hey, the Denver Broncos were able to get the ball to Demaryius Thomas, and then they scored the 2-point conversion. And that was it. That was the offense. That was Peyton Manning's one and only contribution to the game. He couldn't do anything. It really wasn't his fault. the Seattle Seahawks off defense was scary. It was scary. Malcolm Smith tackled some like 10 times. They were all over the place. Heck, even Sherman, they prevented stuff. You're talking about Richard Sherman. He almost didn't do anything. In fact, he got hurt and he got taken out of the game at the very end. And with then they get the ball to Doug Baldwin, and they scored another touchdown. I mean, Peyton Manning, he had 280 yards, 34-49. How do you do that and only score 8 points? How does Russell Wilson get only 206 yards, 18 of 25, and you get outscored 43-8? It was the defense and Percy Harvin. Oh, wow. This game was abysmal. It was brutal to watch. It was so brutal to see Peyton Manning get pummeled again and again and again and again and again. It didn't seem like anything was happening in the first half. It seemed as though not even Matt Prater, he didn't even score a field goal. He didn't even get a chance. Every time that they have any leeway, they get another interception. It was all Seattle's defense. They won the game. But you know what? That freaking, oh my God. Percy Harvin, he's just the fastest thing that was out there. Russell Wilson, my God, Russell Wilson was really good this game. He didn't outplay Peyton Manning, but he really did seem that he was very calm and calculated. He was very, very not on edge. I don't think he committed any mistakes. I don't think he turned the ball over once, I think. But, wow, I mean, just... This game was brutal. This game was brutal. I mean, the Denver Broncos, my God, I mean, I knew that they were going to have a tough hill to climb, but I didn't figure that they'd be taking on freaking Everest. I didn't figure that the Denver Broncos were going to be taking on Kilimanjaro. Wow. Oh my God, it got to the point where we changed the channel a few times just to, break from the monotony. But it felt like it was like, to compare, I'm going to just use an analogy that Noah said. It was like watching baby seals getting clubbed. It was like, you know what you're watching, Fico? You're basically watching a dead horse get beat. And that's what it felt like. It felt like the Denver Broncos were just getting punished. It almost doesn't even really feel like it's the same team it was. It was complete and utter domination. Complete and utter domination. And people were on their Facebook posts. They were changing the channel. They were changing the game. They stopped watching. Because they couldn't handle it anymore. They were just like, forget it, screw it. We'll just pretend that the game is over. Children going crying to bed. I mean, seriously, this game was hard to watch if you were a Denver Broncos fan. I think if you were at a Denver Broncos bar, I think you probably had to close the bar early because it's like, screw it. No, done. Wow. I mean, all the drama and all the stuff about Marshawn and Richard Sherman, and just all that mattered was the game. And this game was pretty much over on that safety. I mean, Noah might think a little different. I mean, you thought like when the defense first kind of sort of took control, that was sort of a momentum shift. But the fact that the momentum started off of that safety and then Percy Harvin just clang, dead. Broncos done. But both teams were great all season. But those Seahawks, Seattle, congratulations. You guys were freaking awesome. No hate. Even though I kind of wanted Denver to win because I have a soft spot for Peyton Manning. But you know what? Even with 280 yards, with the career record season that he had this year, named MVP again, to make it all the way back to the Super Bowl and not win is one thing. But to just get manhandled like this is just amazing to me. Just really amazing. But that wasn't the only thing that was pretty amazing. Bruno Mars in the halftime show. That was pretty awesome. That was very, very a good show. It was really this hip beat, really awesome, just festive, well performed. I mean, it started with Bruno Mars on a drum kit, and then all of a sudden he gets hauled back to his band, and trying to find the stuff that they were performing, the songs. Okay, first they started with Locked Out of Heaven. That is my favorite Bruno Mars song. And then from there, they went to do their other big hit from that album, Treasure. Yeah, Treasure was like, wow, we're getting reggae-ish, rockish, Police style, and Earth, Wind and Fire, disco, funkiness. It's like, ooh, ooh. Then all of a sudden, Runaway Baby from the Whoops and Hooligans, another great song. And from then, they kind of sort of changed the lyrics a little bit, and then they started going like singing like Give It Away. And then all of a sudden, the Red Hot Chili Peppers came out and performed a little bit of Give It Away along with Bruno Mars and the band. And that was a really, really awesome kind of like mashup. It was really great to see the Peppers. But they promoted the Peppers, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and all of a sudden, they were like done with one song. It was like one song and then they were done. I mean, I was very surprised. I thought that they would just stick around, do another song, maybe Around the World or something from Stadium Arcadium, something else, but it was just Give It Away. I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been performing for such a long, long time. They have them do one song and then that's it. That's it. You're done. Red Hot Chili Peppers, gone. And then at the end, Bruno Mars finishes with Just the Way You Are. Okay, let me just put it to you this way. I'm glad that he didn't do Gorilla. I'm glad he didn't do Grenade. I'm glad he didn't do the Lazy song. Because all the other songs that he did, they were just right. It wasn't much about the frills and electronic screens and all of these special effects. It was all about a performance, a solid performance. I mean, last year I was surprised with Beyonce. This year, Bruno Mars rocked. And I always set myself up for failure. I always going to say, oh, the performance is going to suck, you know. And I have said it. I did say Bruno Mars is going to suck, and all of a sudden he doesn't suck. So that's cool. Really, really good halftime show. Really good performance. And now come the commercials. The commercials were weak. Really, really weak. It seemed like the first half of this football game gave me nothing. I can't think of a single commercial that I could remember that I could go, ooh, okay. My top favorite ones were the car commercial that Morpheus was in, And then all of a sudden he says, like, he offers like 2 car keys, like if he was in the Matrix. Then all of a sudden he tells him, like, here, take this key, you'll never go back ever again to mediocre luxury. Then all of a sudden he does this little thing, and then he starts singing opera, and behind him is sort of like wreckage and carnage like in the Matrix. That was really cool. Another really good one was when they were doing like a mixture of a little puppy and a Doberman head, and it looked like a freaking mutant puppy dog, and there was it was so funny. And Sarah McLachlan comes out to talk about like for her, it was sort of like her animal cruelty campaign that she comes out to talk. I forget the campaign is, and the little puppy starts grabbing her guitar, and all of a sudden she gets up because she's like, you know what, screw it. And that was a really funny one. Another funny one was the one where Terry Crews and the Muppets were together. It was another car commercial. That was very nostalgic. I really liked that one. I really liked the trailers for Transformers 4 and for Captain America Winter Soldier. That was really bitchin'. The fact that 24 is coming back, I really don't care because I didn't watch 24, but I know it's good. I saw a few episodes for the first season, and definitely anyone who's excited about 24 coming back all of a sudden, 24 being happy, and all of a sudden he's back to do 24. That's really good. Trying to remember another one. I didn't see the Bud Light commercial. I didn't figure out what it was. I think it was like, that it was just one fan, and then all of a sudden they were following him around, and it was supposed to be just one night following this fan. I guess that was the concept. I never saw the whole commercial. And I'm trying to think of another commercial that I liked. There was another commercial that I liked. There was a Radio Shack commercial where it had only all stuff about the 80s, like Hulk Hogan, Alf, Twisted Sister was there, and they were like rating Radio Shack. It was sort of like, oh, we're remodeling Radio Shack, where now it's a brand new Radio Shack. And I thought that was pretty cool. There were ads I had already seen before, like the soldier coming home, and the town threw him a welcoming back party, and it turns out that guy was at the Super Bowl, and that was really cool. That was very, very cool. This may be one of the most patriotic Super Bowls, because I gotta say, God Bless America and the anthem, I must have heard that like 9 times the whole night. And there was one really cool Coca-Cola commercial where just everybody singing God Bless America in like different languages in different countries. And I thought that was really, really, really nice. And I gotta say, you know, anyone that saw that commercial, that was, you know, admittingly brought a little bit of a tear to your eye. And trying to think of others. But overall, really, it was just a really lackluster ads this year. And I think the reason, was because most of these ads were all just kind of sort of given away early. So maybe these ads might have been better, but hell, there was one ad where where the dude, one of the main characters from The Office, I couldn't remember the guy, actually did a commercial for for saving money or something, or it was like car insurance or whatever, or for tax return or whatever. I didn't even remember. But it turns out that it was like an after Super Bowl commercial. And it's just like, oh, you saved all of this money. They saved all of this money, not putting the money in to put an ad thing for the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden they linked it to how you could save just like they did. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was actually one of the best commercials I saw. And that wasn't even one of the Super Bowl commercials. Overall, really lackluster with the commercials. Kind of like how the Super Bowl was. Really, really lackluster. I had fun with the game. It was so fun watching the game, but it really just, wow, it blew my mind. It was one-sided from beginning to end, and I honestly don't know what's going to happen. The Seattle Seahawks are clearly riding this wave of awesomeness that they had with them, and will they keep it going for next season? I think so. I think as long as they keep that core and that defense the way it is, and I think that if they continue to develop Russell Wilson, if Golden Tate and the rest of the receivers stay salty, stay frosty, and obviously Marshawn Lynch continues to do beast mode, I think they're going to be so fine throughout the rest of this new season. And as for the Broncos, wow, the Broncos, this was definitely a demoralizing loss. They deserved to be there. Both teams deserved to be there. And it was great to see the Seattle Seahawks win. But one has to wonder if they weren't ready. It seemed as though they had no answers to anything. And you know, it's kind of sad. You know, now you start thinking about the what ifs. What about Peyton Manning? What about him? How is he going to bounce back? I'm sure Peyton Manning is a classy guy, and he'll probably see this as, you know what, we made it all the way to the end, and he's gonna probably just be like, you know what, we were completely dominated and obliterated, and we didn't know what to do. And that's probably what he's going to say, because that's exactly what happened. The Broncos had no solutions. It seemed like they got prepared to take on Marshawn Lynch and nobody else. They couldn't stop the offense. The defense, the offense couldn't penetrate Seattle's defense. It was interceptions after interception, after return, after touchdown, after return, after blundering mistake. It really wasn't much the Broncos that were screwing up. It was just that Seattle was just so much well prepared. They were not going to leave MetLife Stadium without winning. That was their mission. And it's a funny story that Noah told me. Apparently this guy got himself tattooed. The 2014 Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. He got himself tattooed before the championship game that Seattle won to qualify to go against. The one where Richard Sherman got all the hate because of what he said about Michael Crabtree. He got that tattooed back then. So that guy, you are so freaking lucky. But I think that guy knew. I think we all had that feeling. Even though we wanted Peyton Manning to win, it was definitely something about it. We knew that they had to climb a mountain to get there, but unfortunately the climb was just too difficult. I think the climb was pretty much cut in the first 12 seconds of the game with that safety. I have never seen that before in my life. A Super Bowl starting with a safety. If it's happened before, wow, but I saw it. Wow. I mean, just wow. But, you know, you couldn't fault Denver for trying. They at least tried. But after Percy Harvin's kickoff return, I think at that point Denver was like, no, I'm sorry. There's nothing else we could do. We tried. There's what could we do? We can't come back. We are down. We haven't scored a single point. See, it wouldn't be so bad if they hadn't, like, oh, they've just been just taking the ball in and they'd just be getting field goals from Matt Prater. They couldn't even do that. And still, Peyton Manning somehow got almost 300 yards. That boggles my mind. Because those are really good numbers. But, yep. But anyway, that was enough of my rant for the Super Bowl. I haven't uploaded any of the other videos, but I'm sure that I'm going to probably have some of those uploaded. I'm just going to probably just put those like in a little separate playlist, just talking about the Super Bowl. But this one is going to go out immediately because I want you all to know exactly what I felt about the Super Bowl. And let me tell you, the Super Bowl might have been, it wasn't much as a dud as it was just kind of like, it's like watching a car accident, really. But overall, very satisfied with the actual event. Went smoothly, no power outages, the temperatures and the climate was under control. The halftime show was blasting, really awesome. Bruno Mars, really good moment for him. I think a lot of people kind of already knew Bruno Mars was on his way to do really good, but all of a sudden, upon watching this, I think it's legitimately clear that he is a great entertainer and he's going to keep on delivering things like this. So, but and other than that, the ads, like I said, more than half of them was all really lackluster, and the others, like the ones that I mentioned that I remember, were actually the really good ones that I remember. So, but that's it. That's it. Super Bowl 48 in the books. Seattle Seahawks 43, I believe. Let me just check that again. Sorry. Yeah, 43, and Denver Broncos just one touchdown and a 2-point conversion at the very end of the third quarter, and that was it. That was all the offense that was able to score. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys had fun. I hope that you are a Seattle Seahawks fan tonight, because if you were, it was a great night. If you're a Denver Broncos fan, I am so sorry. But don't be disappointed. Give it some time. I'm sure that they'll be back, because when they were so close last year and they made it all the way this year and they didn't win, the third time's always the charm. So keep that in mind. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you continue to have fun throughout the rest. NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up, so stay tuned for that. So, and the Sochi Olympics are also very soon, so lots of good stuff happening. So yeah, have yourselves a great week, and see you later, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.